All right, welcome to From the Stands, PNW. We are the dirt track racing podcast here in the Pacific Northwest. Our home tracks are Skagit Speedway, Deming Speedway, Skagit Quarter Midgets, and soon to be Skagit River Raceway, right? Soon to be.
Soon.
Wow.
I had no idea what that was called.
The SRR, yeah. Skagit River Raceway. Or to really throw a wrench into your keister. Where's the other one?
Nora?
Nora is the club, but you have it's the one in Stanwood. I wrote it down somewhere on here. Well, I did write it down, but apparently on something else. So anyway, yeah, there's the track in Stanwood as well. But anyway, all right, so welcome to the show. If you don't know who I am Jimmy. I am the host. Behind the mic and with all the producer credits is
Stacy. Did you forget my name?
You must say hi or
Hey.
Is for horses, but not
Hey.
for anyway. So we are here alive, kicking. 3 episodes to film real fast. We are also live on TikTok. But we're going to get into our cushion report because I think it's important with our schedule coming up. So we just came back from Deming, the Skagit Quarter Midgets, and the Skagit Speedway. This coming week, we will be at Deming Speedway on Friday. We will be at Skagit Quarter Midgets on Saturday morning. And we will not be doing a Skagit Speedway episode until after High Limit, right? That is the current plan, right?
Yeah.
I'm kind of saving something in case Adam's going to let me work on his crew Saturday, where I don't have to bring any cameras, I just do a dirty shirt.
Whoa.
And jack his car up and down all night, or do something that is but I haven't talked to him yet, so we don't know.
Okay. That's just in the works.
But I'm saving it just in case. Because you're back to work Saturday. You probably want to play your video games and eat your bonbons, right? Little Married with Children action.
Not if I'm at the quarter midget track. That's not going to work.
Okay, what about after the quarter midget track?
If you're with Adam, what am I doing?
Taking a bath? I don't know.
Hanging in the car?
Oh, you're going to be in his car?
In our car, if I'm eating bonbons and playing my games.
You know what?
They're
Are you
cream.
high?
They're ice cream.
Did you accidentally take LSD before you got here? I think you
No.
did. All right, so that is our cushion report coming up. But we're coming to the end of the season, aren't we?
We are.
Deming schedule remaining. August 28th is, normal race, including midgets, right? September 4th, which is Labor Day weekend, Deming is closed for High Limit. High Limit is 3 days. And then on September 11th is championship for the midgets. And then September 18th is championship for everybody else.
Yeah, on the 11th, it'll be normal point races still.
We are going to be there for everything from here until the end of the year. We will be producing episodes for every single one of those dates. Now, the thing that will kind of throw things on a head, and we'll get more into it when we do our Skagit Speedway episode, but we will be spending the Sunday after High Limit at Skagit River Raceway doing some reporting there. So that is our cushion report, brought to you by
Oh, wait, we don't have a sponsor.
Oh, okay. Well,
Nice try.
insert sponsored when we do get one. All right. So we had an interesting Deming Speedway situation. We had somebody who didn't want to do an interview with us, right?
I reached out to a handful of drivers
Yes.
one day, and I'm like, hey, we would love to interview you if you're up to it. They got back to me. Some people are not great at checking their social media, and I get that.
So when you do that and you piss Stacy off, I get the brunt of that with glares and grunts and slamming of things. So
I get it when you have multiple social media. So you have a driver page or a page that is focused on just your cars.
Yeah.
And then you have your personal stuff. I get it off of my TikTok. I have my personal page and I have the from the stands. And if you don't go back and forth,
I'm all about from the stands, period.
You have your other page too.
Freaking story. I don't do anything other than dirt track racing podcast stuff.
You're a liar. And so when you kind of go back and forth, you're going to miss some things. And it took a little while. She responded. She goes, she apologized about the delay and then said that she is not one to be in front of a camera. She is on the shyer side, she says, which I disagree with.
Are you talking about the number 16B?
And then she reached back out and said, actually, I would like to do it.
She's not shy.
No.
She's good in front of the camera. She might not think she is.
She might not have had a lot of practice.
But she was great behind the
Yeah.
No, she wasn't behind the camera. She was in front of the camera.
In front of the camera.
And
on that side of the camera.
We even had a producer screw it up and had to do take 2, and she even took that in stride. She took it in stride more than I did.
Got to roll with the punches.
Well, because when I was done, the Stacy doll got 19 more pins stuck in it.
Fire me. You have no other option of who's sitting here.
So that kind of gives away our next interview that we're going to play. So our next interview was with Brooklyn Bracey. Now, when Stacy told me that name, I had to go back and look because I thought she mispronounced something, or because it's very rare you get Brooklyn Bracey, right? I mean, I figured, because you have a hard time, pronouncing Ed. So, but no, you were correct. And so we dug into Brooklyn's stats, which I read back to her in the interview, and she was shocked at her. She didn't even know her own stats.
Yeah.
So at the time of the interview, Brooklyn had made 17 features, which means the A main. She had 12 top 10 finishes this year. She had 4 top 5s with 1 A main victory. And she had no clue about that. So anyway, here is the footage of the interview, and we're not playing you the mistake part of it. I edited that part out. So this is the full interview with Brooklyn, and when we come back, we're going to kind of give our impression. Do you have impressions of her as a race car driver? We're going to give our impressions, and then we're going to get into maybe some pit rocket footage.
Okay.
All right.
All right, are we going? Okay, why don't we keep an eye on the red dot so we don't have to do this again. All right. So I have a special guest with me today. We are at Deming Speedway. We had last week off, which kind of felt weird, but we are back. It's going to be a good night of racing. I am with the driver of the 16B in the 600 restricted class, Brooklyn Bracey. Welcome, Brooklyn. It's good to have you. How's everything going?
It's going pretty good.
So doing the research to understand you as a driver, because we have a lot we cover, right? So you've had 17 feature appearances this year, so 17 A main appearances. You've had, it's ice, by the way, looking for me. No, just kidding. You've had, we like comedy in our little deal. Yeah. So you've had 12 top 10s, 4 top 5s with 1 A main win. Now, I know this is take 2. We had done all this previously, but Stacy didn't hit the record button. So A-Main, I asked you previously, did you know early in the night that you had a chance of winning? And, how did all that go down? Why don't you retell the folks at home?
Okay. So from hot laps, my car felt really good, so I was really proud. Qualifying, we did pretty good. In the heat, we did super good. And I was just putting a night together, and I was like, okay, maybe I got this. And I ended up starting second in the feature and got the win.
So I'm curious, when you say it was it good, better than it's ever been, or just good kind of average, or?
It kind of felt the same as a normal, but I kind of had the feeling that my car was gonna be super good towards.
So there was something a little different.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. So you've had a consistent season, and obviously your car and how you drive it. I'm curious because this is part where this is going to be new. So if your car could talk, give me one thing that it would be happy about the way you drive, and give me one thing it would be really upset at you about.
I feel like it'd be happy when I'm actually hitting my marks and running the bottom, and it'd be really upset if I kept blowing the corner.
Okay, I gotcha. Well, I love that because that's the first time that I've actually gotten two different answers. So I love that part. You talked about being nervous, sometimes staging area, that kind of thing. Green flag's about to drop. What's going through your head?
I would mostly I got to get my start right. If I don't, then it's probably going to mess up most of it.
Sure. So you've been racing a while.
Yes.
And outside of your feature win, because that is a really neat thing, when you close your eyes and think of a racing memory you have as a driver, what brings a smile to your face? Is there a memory you have that?
I would say probably when I was 6 or something, 2019, when I first won a quarter midget race, or my first top 3 in micros.
And you still think about that?
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. So let me ask you, you're paving the way for, young women to race. Is that pressure? Do you ever think about that?
I don't really think about it. I just think about how I feel it's super cool that I get to be a girl and to be doing a male dominant sport.
I'm a guy, and I think what you do is super cool. So yeah, that's pretty neat. What's your plans in the future? Do you want to grow up racing cars? What's the?
I feel I do want to race for a while until I can't.
Okay, but you don't have a cap in your mind down the road, just whenever it runs out?
I feel yeah. I also want to be an ultrasound technician in the future when I'm older.
I like that. Yeah, absolutely. And you could probably do both. Right?
Yeah, probably.
So, if you had a class of race car you could drive, any that exists in the world, what would be your ultimate dream car to race in?
Probably a 360.
Ooh, I like that. She's talking my language now. Let me ask you this. How many tracks have you raced at before, outside of Deming?
Only one.
Okay. Do you have a dream track? If you could race anywhere in the world, which track would you race?
I don't really think I have one.
Just if it's racing, you want to do it,
Yeah.
right? I love that part. And this is a fun question for me because I like snacks, obviously. But let me ask you, races, night's over, you're tired, you're hungry, you're thirsty, you're climbing out of the car. What is the first go-to thing you do, food or drink-wise?
Goldfish and a blue Gatorade.
Ooh, I got goldfish in my backpack right now. So that is awesome. I really appreciate you taking time out. I know that you kind of were a little nervous. It's not scary, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I would expect big things out of Brooklyn in the future. She has a real consistent season, and we're looking forward to seeing you run tonight. So, good luck.
Okay.
All right, so like I said, Brooklyn was a good interview. She is better in front of the camera than she gives herself credit for. Here's the thing. When I interview somebody, especially somebody that's a younger female, I can tell whether it's going to be a good interview on when I make a joke if it registers on their face or not. They don't even have to laugh at it. But if it registers, then I know we're going to be locked in for the interview. Jet is very good with that part, right? She goes with my jokes and she's locked in on that. Brooklyn was the same way. McKenna was that way when I interviewed her. So, yeah, when I made the little joke and she had locked in on it, I knew, okay, we're gonna be safe because she's gonna be a good interview. So, and she's a damn good race car driver.
Very consistent.
Yeah, I mean, she hit her marks. I mean, she won the B main, right, which advanced her to her 18th feature of the season. Unfortunately, she had a little mishaps in the A main and could not finish her 13th top 10. I think she finished 12th. But, 18 features in a season is pretty darn good, I think. So, yeah, it was great.
I would agree with that.
Plus, you like the look of her car.
I do like the look of her car.
What specifically about the look of her car did you like?
Just the color scheme. It is in that pink realm of it, but it's very well done. And, it kind of goes along with, like, Maddie Hoppy's car.
Yeah.
And that color scheme where they catch your eye as they are coming on the corner. So I feel like I get a lot of pictures of them throughout the season.
And then, obviously, her 16B had relevance like most race car drivers do. So, anyway, I had the pit rocket for the second time at Deming Speedway. And I decided to do a quick little pit tour to kind of show you. I didn't go up and down. I think there's like 3 rows of pits, like at Deming, right? I took you on the outer rows. I didn't take you on the internal. I looked down the internal, but didn't take you on them. You're going to hear a little bit of fun in me in the pit rocket stuff going by. People kind of saw me and kind of gave me a little crap for being on the pit rocket, doing a little thing. But anyway, if you've not been at Deming and not seen the pits, here is what it looks like from the metas on the pit rocket. All right. Now we're back to doing our little pit tour of Deming Speedway. I'm on the pit rocket, as you can tell. So this is what they call the staging area. So when all the cars are getting ready to come down to the track, they will line up here. The pits are quite large. So they start here. And I will not go down that way. We'll just go this way for the tour for the sake of seeing the entire back side of it. Yeah, but being here at Deming is one of my favorite places on the planet. There's Sage's spot right there. Sage's dad working hard. There is Austin's car, which is my new favorite car. And everything else. This is complete backside of Deming Speedway. All right, that's complete.
Okay.
Oh, are we back?
We're back.
Oh, did you even turn it off? Oh,
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. I have to read from my phone because Stacy broke my computer. Her notage. Interesting, when we were driving into Deming for the race, Stacy said there was a contest going on at Deming Speedway. And it was everybody wear their oldest, right?
Mm-hmm.
What? Oldest pair of underwear? What is it?
Oldest Deming shirt.
You're barely with us right now, aren't you?
I am. My brain is going in numerous ways.
So I wore my oldest and entered the contest. Did Jimmy win?
No.
Do you know who won?
No. I did not see any photos of that.
Okay.
I don't even know if truly the contest got followed out, to be honest.
Well, it was supposed to happen,
Yeah.
right? But we don't know if it was completed. If it was, if somebody could reach out to us and let us know, would love to put some pictures and whatnot on the good old podcast before we get canceled. Track conditions, something interesting. I think Paul was struggling with the track a little bit. A lot of moisture. I mean, it was wet.
Wet. It was humid out.
It was a lot of pausing and trying to work the track in.
There was a lot of chatter from crews and even drivers. The last 2 weeks, the track was fairly dry, so then they kind of changed their setups. And then it was, I think, as wet as I've ever seen it, where you can hear the wetness on the tire.
Yeah, you hear the slop on the track, yeah. You know, a lot of the 1200s, midgets, even the 600 opens were having, you know, trying to help get the track worked in and all that good stuff. It finally did get worked in. The track was pretty good. Led to some pretty good racing. And we saw Little Red Ass at Deming Speedway this week.
It's at the end of the season. There's a lot of emotions going on.
There were some pissed off drivers, like in multiple classes at Deming Speedway this week. One cool thing that happened, the number 33, it was him or hers first time in that car. They got to turn like hot laps by themselves, which was cool to see. It's very Dane and Melissa-esque and Dasa-esque at Skagit Quarter Midgets, right? I loved seeing that. Kind of gives me that kind of warm, cozy, you know, that, yeah, it's competitive and we're there to, you know, witness racing and people are going to cuss and throw punches at each other and do that whole thing. But there's also time to usher in a new race car driver and not bombard them because their senses are already on overload, right?
Yeah.
So it was really cool to see. So Stacy misspelled it. Take to Sage in the pits. What is?
Talk to Sage.
So we ran into Sage when we got to the track. Sage has spent the last 2 weeks running side-by-sides, right? Hadn't been in a sprint car in a bit. And his birthday was last Monday. A week ago today, I want to wish him over the public airways. Happy birthday, Sage. Savage Sage is 14? 15? 22?
13?
Okay, he's old enough to go to a bar now, I guess. You're going to buy him a beer next time you see him?
Sure.
Sweet. Now, here's something weird.
Take you up on the ice cream.
Here's something weird. He can't fit in his car anymore.
Jimmy was like dumbfounded when he said that. Like, I can't fit in my car.
He was banging his knees on the top wing. What was he banging his knees on? I'm seeing if you're paying attention.
The steering wheel?
Wow, yeah. So, yeah, he had a growth spurt and had a hard time squeezing himself into the car. And it could have led to his unfortunateness.
No.
Oh, it didn't? Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay. Anyway, so I want to wish Sage happy birthday. I did try to buy him ice cream, but why didn't that happen?
You don't take ice cream from a stranger.
So I'm still a stranger?
Maybe.
Okay. What if I buy you ice cream? Do you eat it?
Yep.
So I'm not a stranger to you?
Nope.
Okay. 600 restricted. We had our first open red, at least for a while. 600 open. So I don't. Hold on. I'm trying to understand how we got this going here. Okay, so am I going to talk about Sage's mishap first? What are we doing?
Well, that would be in the main down below.
Okay.
I just went off of your notes.
All right. So yeah, we had an open red in the 600 restricted A main, and we'll get into what the open red was. But Ryan Cannon was on the backstretch, Ryan Cannon Jr., with his car. I know he's not a junior, but I'm going to keep doing that until somebody tells me to stop, except Stacy.
His stepmom thought it was funny.
Yeah. So during the open red, Stacy was with Sage and Sage's crew, trying to observe that hole, which we'll get into here in a little bit. And so I went up to Jeff and talked to him for the open red, and he said this is the first open red he's got to do in the restricted, which I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. And then they kind of gave me an insight on the changes that they make, you know, what the possibilities, and I think everything is on the table to change in an open red except the tires. So they can even change the gearing, like, and take the tire off, but they have to let an official know, so the official can mark the tire or do something to show that they're not swapping tires out. But they made some on-track adjustments, which I was waiting to see if, you know, Mr. Ryan Cannon Jr. was going to, you know, pick his way through to the front, but I didn't think, you know, there just ended up not being enough laps left. He was making some progress after the open red, but yeah, not enough laps to kind of get him to the front. So anyway, one interesting thing that we had happen, right? Races stopped in the middle. We went to a red flag. Medics had to leave the center of the track to respond to somebody in the pits. We hadn't seen that before, so that was quite interesting. What is your thoughts on that, Stacy?
I definitely do think that we definitely need more medic aspect around there. And once we get into our green and black flag scenario, we can talk about that more.
Because this is the first green flag, black flag we're doing for Deming Speedway. We've done everybody else except Deming, right? So are we going to do it for Skagit River Raceway? Probably.
Might as well.
All right. They're going to get hammered on too, huh?
Yep.
All right. The Stacy hammer is going to be coming down. So we had medical emergency. It got handled. Races resumed. Early on in the pits, right before we did our interview with Brooklyn, we ended up running into Savannah Hillier. She was back to the track after a 3-week layoff, right? 3 weeks?
I think so. I know she was in Knoxville for at least 2 weeks.
She was a little nervous because she hadn't been behind the wheel of a car, and she actually performed really, really well. I didn't see any rust. Did you?
No.
Yeah, she was running towards the front of every race that she was in, and yeah, just killed it. I didn't see any rust whatsoever. So yeah, if she wouldn't have said anything, it wouldn't have looked like she had any off time at all. Just trying to get a lay of the land here. All right. So we talked about Sage. So whenever we're doing interviews, we focus on those drivers while we're there. Pictures, video. And so paying attention to the 16B, which is Brooklyn's car. She was in a heat race with Sage. Sage ended up winning his heat race, and Brooklyn ended up finishing third in that heat race, which is pretty awesome. It got her towards the front of the B main for that finish, I believe. So And like we said earlier, she ended up winning the B main and to advance to her A main to make it her 18th feature. So that was really cool to see. And it's kind of neat when we choose drivers to interview and we see them, it translate to success. It kind of makes me feel like, we're choosing appropriately. What do you think?
I don't intentionally pick the top who's leading the points.
No,
Not at all.
we interviewed Austin Kerrigan, who just got married, by the way. Congratulations. We had no idea he was going to win the Hornet Nationals, and he ended up winning the Hornet Nationals. So, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I kind of just pick some different drivers that I think could have maybe an interesting story or something about that driver that goes, I want to interview them.
Yeah.
And obviously we want
You know
drivers.
what interests me the most about the stats of Brooklyn? What do you think out of her stats that I rattled off to you? What do you think I'm impressed the most with?
the amount of top 10 finishes.
No. The amount of features, because you have to be consistent, right? 18 A main, and you're not guaranteed an A main, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of 600 restricted
Yeah,
cars.
so you're never guaranteed an A main, and in a season to have 18 A main features where you start, that is impressive. That is longevity. That is a Tristan Thomas, second in points when we did our interview with him. It's one thing to go to after one race, but to be consistent throughout the year, that's hard because you got mechanical issues. You have to be consistent enough to be able to make the top, and that's what's impressive to me in that whole situation. So anyway, yes. All right. So I think that we're going to get into, we're going to get into green flag, black flag next, right?
I would do that at the end. That's just going off your note cards. That's just where it was.
Oh, so we're no longer analyzing the note cards. You're just re-spitting them back out onto the paper? Because last time you did the shuffle and it flowed nicely, but okay. Well, all right. So what are we doing now?
Junior sprints, A main.
Yes, junior sprint, A main. Can you read? What does that mean? Had it pretty fussed. What is fussed?
I typed what was on your cards.
So
I don't know.
if there isn't fussed on my card. So here's the one thing I will say. Watching Mr. Sargent competing, I think it's safe to say that 54 is now his arch enemy. His major competitive equal. It seems like they are always battling. And it doesn't matter whether it's 1, 2, 5, 6, 9, 10. Those two always seem to be battling each other in every single A main that I can remember.
And probably paired.
Probably every A main that we've seen, because even Clay Cup, it was those two were battling it out until Mr. Sargent ended up winning.
I really think that there's 5 drivers that are very consistent in that top 5. Always. I felt like we didn't have a lot of yellow flags in the junior sprints.
No, I honestly think there were more issues in the 600 restricted and open than there were in the juniors this week, which is unusual because usually it's right. And it's not necessarily, because at Skagit Quarter Midgets, we deal with kind of the same but different, right? And yeah, so we ended up and Cole ended up winning. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then Lucas Fisher was second, and then Luke Coates in the 43 finished the junior sprint A main in third. There was a little bit of a dust up.
That maybe is what it's supposed to say.
Well, Yeah, because I wrote a D. My D's and F's do not look anywhere the same, but you can go with making it my fault. There was a little dust there, like a 4-car red flag. I know Thor was kind of in it, but not. He kind of got collected at the end and kind of, I think, spun or, came to a stop. It was between 2 cars mainly, and it ended up being a red flag just because the entire track ended up being blocked. Mm-hmm. So, but I watched Thor racing, right? And here's what I'm impressed with that kid. And I didn't talk to you about this, and I don't care. I'm going to say it. Most of the drivers, when you watch them, there's a frantic to get to the front. Everybody's frantic to get that win, get to the top 3, get a podium, do the thing. And you see drivers that aren't driving fundamentally smart. Mr. Sargent is very good at what he does. He doesn't ever seem rushed. He, fortunately for him, is always towards the front for some reason. But watching Thor, he does the same kind of thing. He's working on his driving and his fundamentals, mm-hmm. and he's not rattled by what's going on in the race. So he's more concerned about with what he's doing in the car to make sure he's doing it, and he's not being affected, which I love, because it shows that he can, get rid of the noise and focus on what he needs to do to complete the race. And I think that's important, and I was impressed by that.
I think that should be the idea of the junior sprints. It's just kind of to get some experience.
Yeah, and he seems to understand the concept of I just need to do what I need to do, and I'm not going to worry about what's going on around me. Mm-hmm. If I am taking care of me, it's going to happen, and I think with him, it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So I was real impressed with that, so good job, Thor. Keep it up, because I think it's an awesome characteristic to have when you're a race car driver. So A-mains all over the place this week at Deming were fiery beyond belief. We've seen a lot of emotional outbursts from the 1200s to the 600 Open, which was a massive deal, but it didn't matter. I mean, even in the restricteds, it was slamming the fist on the car and, mm-hmm. letting out an F-bomb or something. So, anyway.
That time of the year.
Yeah. So in the 600 restricted A main, we had in the 3D, we had Dayton taking third, Owen in the 00 taking second, and the winner, Hudson Little, ended up winning on the last turn of the race, ended up making the pass to go ahead. It was either the last or second to last turn. It was pretty impressive to watch, and it was clean as heck. So good for Hudson doing that. But we had the open red that we talked about earlier, and Sage and the number 23, Jace Metcalf, got together and had to be cut apart. And taking a straw poll of people at the track, have never seen that before.
They had 2 grinders, 2 guys going in different directions to try to get the grinder.
How long do you think the open red lasted? 15 minutes? 20 minutes?
I was going to say 10 to 15. It was pretty effective in getting it dealt with.
Sage had a lot of damage, though.
Yeah.
Because I think the 23 drove up onto, and their, side component, where the motor is, kind of entangled with each other, and they had to cut that apart. Sage had the most damage out of that, I think, right?
It looked like it.
You were there.
Yeah.
I'm asking you.
Well, it's hard to see. There's so many officials and guys working on it.
Did you take pictures of it?
I did. You couldn't see a whole lot just because of the amount of bodies around there. And the idea was just to try to get them untangled.
How many officials do you think were there?
There was probably 8.
8 orange shirts?
There was probably maybe 6 orange shirts or so around there, plus the crews of each of those drivers.
Sure.
Trying to assist in all their different ideas of what to do.
Yeah, it was a wild scene. All right, so that's going to lead us to our second interview, and the reason we're leading into it now is this individual kind of has ties to the Hudson Little car, right? If I remember correctly, they're kind of buddies.
Yeah.
So we heard about this young man named Titus, who we heard about him when we first started going to Deming. Did we start seeing message? How did that transpire?
His mama comments a lot on our TikTok posts.
Okay.
And so it kind of started that conversation about his experiences at Deming.
Sure. So we decided to do a sit down. So I did a sit down interview with him, kind of like I did with Chase Danielson. And it was a good interview. He was nervous, very, very nervous. But he's a Mozart savant. I'm telling you right now. He is like, you don't see a photographer when you see him. But when he gets he's locked in and super good at what he's doing. Plus, he's got a killer name for his company. What was it? Full Throttle?
Yeah, photography.
Full Throttle Photography, yeah. So if you get a chance, go see his stuff that's out there in the world. But anyway, here is my sit-down interview with Titus. When we come back, I'll give my impressions of him, and then we'll get into the Midget A main. Yeah, there we go.
Are you ready to go?
Yep.
All right, let's do it. Should I lean in more? Is that better? Okay. All right, let's go before they start packing. You going? All right, so we are at the track, and I have with me a very unusual guest. Usually I'm talking to a race car driver or a member of the team of a race car, but we actually have Titus, who is a 13-year-old photography expertise extraordinaire. You've been taking photos. So how long have you been shooting photos of racing?
I've been taking photos of racing for probably about close to 2 years now.
And you're self-taught, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trial and error is how you went through it, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long did it take you to kind of, because one of the things we struggle is like settings on a camera. How long did it take you to kind of learn that part of it?
It probably took me about 5 races to get used to the settings and see what they do and get everything set up properly.
Oh, okay, that's pretty good. Do you remember the first race you ever photographed?
I think it was the first race of last year is when I started to, or it was the second or third race of that year that I first started on taking photos on my actual camera.
The one you're using now?
Yes.
Yeah. So what was that like when you got done with your first night of taking photographs as a photographer? Was that pretty exciting?
It was pretty exciting, and it was a very big learning curve, and I liked learning about like the photography and what the settings do and what everything does.
Sure. No, that's awesome. I love that. So what made you want to start, of all the tracks to go to, what made you want to start shooting at Deming?
I have a friend who lives really close to me, and he races here, and one of my friends, he just told me maybe you should start taking photos here, and my mom already did photography, so
Okay.
I decided I'll grab one of her cameras and see how I like it.
That's pretty awesome. What is your favorite type of photo? Are you do you like photographing the crashes? Are you a victory lane person? Do you like driver shots when their cars are in the pits? Do you like it when they're on the track in action shots? Like, what is your favorite type?
I like the action shots where they're coming right down in the corner, like right before they break into the corner.
Okay, I like that. Nice. Of all the photos you've taken a lot by now. Do you have a favorite photo?
My favorite photo is probably number 23H coming down the front stretch, and it's just perfectly blurred and right before coming into that corner.
That's awesome. I love that. So when you're at the racetrack and you get your camera out, right? And I have to look at my notes because I want to make sure I ask my intelligent questions that I put together before you got here, just for you, tailored just for you. So when you got your camera out and you're kind of deciding what to shoot, what do you see that makes you put that camera to your face and take that photo? What are you looking for?
I'm kind of just looking for like something cool to shoot, like something fast, and just some photos are better.
So like it's just instinct, right?
Yeah.
Is that what? Okay.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure because I don't do, I do the asking question. Like Stacy would probably be a better one because I've never even asked her that. But I'm curious. Yeah, it's always instinct, which I love.
And you also start to learn, especially because where I shoot, I have a very, very small cutoff point of where if I don't stop soon enough, I'll hit the fence. But after a year or two, you learn exactly where to take your photos and when to.
Okay. So I know Stacy asked you this question and was actually on my list to ask you. What kind of camera do you shoot with now?
I shoot with a Canon EOS 70D.
I know it might be better than. Is it better than our camera, Stacy? Okay. In the same
Yeah.
family. So is there a photographer, driver, or somebody that inspires you to want to do what you do?
I think driver Hudson Little, number 23H.
It's a good one.
He basically brought me out here, and ever since I first came out here, I've loved this racing, and I've loved taking photos of this racing.
Love that. Dirt track racing, when it gets in your blood, there's nothing better, right?
Yes.
Love that. Is there a photography trick that you've learned through trial and error that you're kind of proud of, that you've discovered yourself? Nobody had to teach you.
I've just learned that stability and low shutter speed, if you're stable at low shutters, that's how personally I like my photos. That's how you get, in my personal opinion, the best photo.
So outside of Hudson Little, has there been a driver that have noticed one of your photos and made a comment to you yet?
I don't think so. Maybe Cooper Anderson.
Okay. Nice. I like that. So I want you to think, any race in the world that you could photograph, what race would be your dream race to be a photographer at?
I would probably still say the Clay Cup Nationals, even though I've done them. I haven't gone into the bigger series, so I don't know what it would be like, but either stay in the Clay Cup Nationals or Skagit Super Dirt Cup.
Okay. Wow, I love that answer. What's your favorite type of race car to shoot? I know we have several classes here at Deming, right? You have your junior sprint, 600 restricted, open, 1200 midget. What's your favorite to shoot?
Favorite is, they're all a different difficulty. So, like, my favorite, because I have the most friends in, is 600R. Junior sprints are always fun because you're always taking photos of, like, the smaller kids who are just getting into racing in dirt. And then the 1200s, they're loud, they're fast, and they're also a blast to take photos of. So all of them, it's just all different. They're so different
Sure.
to take photos of.
Sure. And now this one kind of falls into the same about if you could photograph any race. If you could hang out with any race car driver for a night, anybody, and it could be any class, anywhere in the world, do you have a favorite driver that you would love to be a fly on the wall in their trailer or anything?
Probably Tanner Holmes. That would be a pretty cool night of
I'm amazed.
racing.
Tanner has a huge following here locally. Everybody loves Tanner. All right, final question. Can you believe it? You got through the gauntlet. Young kid that wants to do what you're doing, what advice would you give them to be where you're at now?
Just do it. Like, even if people don't believe in you, you can do it. You just need time and effort to get into it. You don't need talent. You just, if you work hard and you get it done, you will eventually become good.
All right, guys. So
Full Throttle Photography.
ooh, I love that too. That's a great name. That's one of probably the more inspiring answers I've heard with somebody who's talking about their profession. I love that. Titus is going to be a force in the photography world, I think, for a while, for a long time to come. So you're going to want to check out, what was it again?
Full Throttle Photography.
Full Throttle Photography. And Titus, look for him at Deming Speedway. Come up, say hi, look at his photos, give him a thumbs up. Doing a lot of great work here at Deming Speedway.
Okay.
So yeah, so Titus is super good, and it's one thing where somebody is working in a company and being trained and kind of given all these extra little. He's had to work his entire way through it, which is incredible. What was your impression?
I think that in the photography world, it's a lot of a learning curve for everybody.
Claudia seems to like him too.
Mm-hmm.
She's kind of let him be in kind of the more
take
photographer area at the side of the track, which is cool. Appreciate that, Claudia.
Yeah, so definitely, I think he does have a future. I think he really enjoys it.
Yeah, I think he's going to be. I think he will be the next Skagit White push truck media part of this.
Yeah, he definitely has.
He's good.
Uh-huh.
He's good at what he does. And just like Mozart, right? No formal training, but when Mozart sat at the piano, he could play. Well, this kid's no formal training, but when he gets a camera, he can play. So good for you, Titus. I love the interview. You did a great job, and you're doing a hell of a job with the work that you're putting out. And there are going to be lots of drivers and stuff in the future that are going to benefit from the work that you're doing. So thank you for what you're doing. Midget A main. It was a little funky because they had 6 cars, I believe. That was it because of the midget race at Skagit Speedway, which was the following night. So I can kind of get when you don't want to crack the car up because you're going to be racing the next day. Some would just choose not to race at all. It was probably the closest on this side of the freeway that you will see to Grays Harbor. Because when 6 midgets get spaced between each other, it's hot laps, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing exciting. Nothing exciting is going to happen because everybody's in the gas equally. So it was what it was.
It's a practice night for these guys.
Yeah, and I get it because the main night for them was at Skagit Speedway.
Yeah, I don't think there was points for their series going on.
So we had Shane Smith in the 44 finished 3rd. Tyler in the 3T finished 2nd, and Alex in the 32 finished 1st. I think the 1200 was the first real red ass moment I think we had of the night. I don't recall in the juniors or the restricted.
I don't think so.
And I don't think anybody was cussing in the midgets.
No.
Okay. So the 1200A main, I don't remember how many cars there were. It wasn't, I think it was 11 or so. It wasn't its usual field. It seemed smaller than it normally is. Did it to you?
I thought it seemed kind of normal, but overall it was a little less of a night.
Okay.
The car count, I think, was down a little bit.
So I'm starting to really like the 1200s. I wasn't a big fan of the midgets and 1200s at Deming because they just seem, but I'm really liking the 1200s. And my man, Austin, put a wing on the 76E, looked awesome. Loved it. You will see pictures of it right there. Ended up talking to Austin. He was like, hey, wait, I got stickers for you. So if you do see Austin Edson and his girlfriend, ask them. The stickers are fantastic. I have one on the Pit Rocket. I have not been able to find space on this yet. I did get Mr. Sargent, who tracked us down to give us his stickers. I did get Mr. Sargent's 49 on my laptop. It was great watching Austin with the wing on, turning strong laps. I know that there was some more car issues, I think, throughout the evening, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he came out for the main,
No.
which I don't blame him. But it was just, and I was shocked to see it and got excited.
Yeah, because he told us he only runs on a wing.
Correct. And when I saw him, I had to, and I think he was a little, I hope I didn't freak him out. Do you think I freaked him out?
No.
Because it was almost like I ran up and like was like, oh, yeah, like it was, yeah. Do you think I made it uncomfortable?
Yeah, maybe a little.
Well, you're just coming out with all the receipts today, aren't you?
Yep.
All right.
It's the Stacy attitude of having to go back to work.
Yeah. Well, and I understand, especially when I'm going to read this verbatim. Bather between N8 and 10. So I don't know what a bather is.
The battle. Come on, Jimmy.
So when I do put my language in and get rid of Stacy's language, the N8 and the 10M had a huge battle back and forth, slide job after slide job. It was not quite as much as the 600 Open, which we'll get into in a second, but it was pretty close.
Yeah, it was a good run.
It was worth the watch. And I think consistently I'm seeing in the 1200s battles, even though N8 seems to be winning a lot or always in the battle, there isn't a given this car.
No.
Right? And I love that part. But we did have a red flag incident in the 1200. Tyson's car flipped, messed it up pretty good. He was pissed, which you kind of expect when...
He was in the front.
Yeah, and he was in the run for...
Yeah, he was doing a great job.
And, yeah, he ended up having mechanical issues after hitting other things. So we hope Tyson Lemley gets his car, fixed and back out. He was having a great run. It was good to see him, and I love the looks of those cars.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, Nate. I think you're a great race car driver. But the 10M and Tyson Lemley's car, I love the orange. It's so nice. So anyway, the 1200 A main, we had the 6H of Jaden third, the 10M Kyle Mitchell, and the N8 Nate Vaughn second and first.
Claudia did say he is okay.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, he had massive front end damage. Like the front driver's side wheel axle was off. It did look like pretty extensive. I mean, he hit hard, which I'm still freaking amazed that these guys hit like they do and slamming into everybody. And
I'm going to look up something really fast
what?
while you're talking.
Is it going to make me angry?
No, it's just a tidbit of information.
Okay. All right, so let's get into the 600 Open A main. We had 17 600.
Oh, hold on. I said fast.
That doesn't translate to much to me, but okay.
Song and dance, Jimmy. Song and dance.
Well, seeing that I don't sing and I don't know how to dance, that's. Let's talk about. What are you going to talk about? Let's just make Stacy go faster. How about that?
1200.
I can't see what's going on because my computer is down for the count.
Let's see. This was easier earlier on my phone. Classes 1200.
Yeah.
I want the results.
Did we get something wrong?
No.
No.
I learned something today,
Okay.
but I can't find exactly what I had. There was a spot on my race pass earlier when I was looking
Yeah.
that gave me how fast these drivers are going.
Like miles per hour
Yes.
on the track, really?
Yes. So I was trying to figure out how fast these 1200s are cranking around the track. So I might have to come look and come back to that, but I did put that a little bit down farther.
I would be curious to know because
I'm going to go this route and see if I can find
the
it this
Northwest
way.
Focus midgets are wingless, and they
Mm-hmm.
obviously have a bigger motor, but the 1200s have wings, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering, because of the arrow on the 1200, if they are actually faster on the track than the midgets.
Okay, here it is. I had to go through the Deming website to find it faster. So, in the A main, the fastest, the best lap was Kyle Mitchell at 64 miles per hour.
Okay.
Okay, so if I scroll down, most likely Tyson was going about 60 miles an hour
When he hit and that's going to hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
And I know the safety gear does its job, and that's,
but that's still jolting your body forward. And yeah, I mean, and how much of it is the adrenaline tightness of, oh shit, here comes an impact. And then your body releases from that. I mean, it happens to me when I see a cheeseburger, right? I just, and then I hurt for an hour because all my muscles were getting ready to impact the cheeseburger. I'm trying to make it funny because Stacy's boring the living life out of me, but I'm trying to make it funny. But yeah.
so the midgets, the best lap was lap 4 of Alex Peck at 58.
So the 1200s are turning more miles per hour. And that's got to be because of the arrow on the car. Has to be.
Has to, because
Has to be.
they're ranging in that 57 to 58.
Love it.
So, look at that. I came up with something.
Minus the cheeseburger comment, I think I felt like a car guy right there for a minute, making that assessment. General.
God, even the restricteds are moving. 61 miles an hour, Owen Hill.
The restricteds, really? What are the opens doing?
Well, if you get a little farther down in those notes, you'll find out. 62.
Really?
Yeah.
So where in the notes?
Like the 6th bullet.
I say, so what was the 1200 fastest lap? How many mph?
1200s was 60. In the main, 64.6.
Okay. All right, 600 open. That was our biggest red ass moment of the year. The shit that went on at the track doesn't happen very often. So
No.
it got a lot of attention and a lot of talk, right? I mean, we talked about it a ton. Well, I mean, you took the pit rocket and disappeared. Thank goodness for Peyton, like, coming to see, like, are you okay? Do you need water? Or, by the way, I'm starting to really like that young man.
Yeah.
I really, really like Peyton Drake. And the more I talk to him, his parents, who, you're out there, you did one heck of a job with him, by the way. I'm just putting that out there. I really like that young man. So 600 open, there was a 17 car count, which is pretty good. Tristan Thomas was obviously, slated to run in the front as most of the races this year. We had a restart go yellow again, and I wrote down in my book that it was because they jumped the restart, but come to find out, the pull rope on the cone broke.
That's what it looked like to me.
So it kind of looked like they did a yellow flag because of the broken rope on the cone, the
cone
single
out,
file
yep.
restart cone. So that was interesting. We had the medical emergency, the broken rope cone thing, minus a cheeseburger, I think.
The cars getting tangled together.
Yeah, like where they need to get cut apart.
A lot of tempers going. It was an interesting night at Deming.
Yeah. So I'm gonna talk about the incident because everybody's kind of watching this episode to talk about this part because I caught it with my metas. And I'm gonna include footage of it, but there was a battle between the 9T and the number 88 Sawyer. So Tristan and Sawyer were battling back and forth a lot. Okay. And at certain points, Tristan was leading. At certain points, Sawyer pulled ahead. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to play the meta footage. So you will see, I believe, the collision and then the aftermath. Is that right?
I have not watched the footage off of your metas.
Okay. I believe the metas will record the hit and then the aftermath, and then we will return to talk about it.
Okay, I want to first say that Sawyer's starting position in this race was 10th.
Yeah, he had moved up to be battling
like-
for the lead.
So it wasn't until, because on the website you can see every lap where they were.
Yeah.
It wasn't until he hit lap 7 he started moving up, because he stayed at 10. Pretty much 1 through 7, and then it was 6, and then 4, 3, and at lap 13 he moved to second. And so
And
13,
it was
14, and 15
And it was
he sitting in 2.
was it a 25 lap?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what lap they got into each other.
16.
Lap 16. But you should have seen the into each other and then the aftermath. Now, there are lots of opinions about how this was handled. How do you feel it was handled, Stacy? You were quite opinionated the night of.
Handled by the drivers or handled by other sources?
The drivers.
The drivers.
Who gives a shit about the other sources? I'm talking about the driver. Who would be the other sources?
I don't know. I just think that you, as drivers, you need to sit in your car, take a deep breath, and let the officials get your cars out of the deal. Go for a walk. Do whatever you need to do. Cool your ass down.
Light some incense.
There is kids around. And, you know, it's one thing to hit your steering wheel out of frustration,
Yeah.
but the extracurricular activities that were happened on the track
Yeah.
is not called for.
Yeah, I mean, that's one position that could be. I'm going to tell you right now, I loved it. I think, yeah, timbers are flaring. Tristan is one that is emotional. Sawyer's an
Both of
emotional
them,
driver,
yes.
right? And we've seen incidents throughout the year of emotions getting the better of them at times. All deals are off when one driver gets out of a car and approaches another driver angrily. You have to expect a retaliation. So, you know, anybody to know Tristan and know, I mean, if the roles were reversed, it would be the same way. You know, Sawyer coming up to Tristan and screaming at him, you know Tristan's going to get out and want to retaliate. I loved it. Because it wasn't this cookie cutter, everything's fine, you know, let's shake hands. And I love seeing the emotion. You know, is fighting the no, but I also think it, you know, getting upset at each other is kind of part of it. Now, if they let this hang over to another race and they start trying to wreck each other because of it, then that's wrong. But I have no issue with Sawyer going up to Tristan, and I have no issue with Tristan retaliating and cussing up a storm and doing the whole thing. I don't see anything wrong with it. I like to see it because it just shows the emotion of racing. And you have to kind of check yourself. You have to realize that if you act like you got big britches, you can sometimes come up against a driver that's going to show that he might have bigger britches than yours. And that will kind of teach you that maybe my britches aren't the biggest, you know. I don't know what Sawyer was thinking or Tristan was thinking, but, you know, it kind of gets sorted out that way, right? You know, we haven't heard anything since, but there was lots of people that had an opinion about it, and most of them hated it, didn't like it.
Yeah.
I was afraid to say my opinion to everybody because I seem to be in the minority of thinking it was great. I love, and I told Peyton this that night because I made a comment about him being fiery. I love the red ass part of it. I've always liked sports with tension like that. I think it adds an extra element. So,
But
yeah.
watching those laps when he was working through,
It sucks because that was a damn good race, and Sawyer was putting on a show.
but there was a different driver at that point of the race than when he started. And you can see it on the speed, the change of speed. You're going up 5 miles per hour and you're driving a little more aggressive in that sense of like, is it safe? Is it unsafe? When like you're like, I don't know how to say this. You're driving consistently in that 58 miles per hour, and then all of a sudden you're bumping up to 62, and there's nowhere for you to go. Like,
Yeah, I mean, when they got into each other, Tristan got the worst of it because he almost flipped his car. I mean, Tristan busted his car up pretty
Yeah.
good because he rode up on the wall. At least from my perspective, it looked like Tristan got the worst of it. You know, I mean, I guess it's to ask Sawyer, was he pissed while he was making his way through? I mean, you don't know what his mindset was. The increased speed could just be the byproduct of him picking his way through the crowd. I mean, because you get drafting, you get all those things, you know, the car ahead of you is cutting the airflow, could make you a little bit quicker. I mean, I wouldn't anticipate Sawyer being like overly aggressive, and that helped lead to, is that what you're trying to get at? Like,
yeah, I knew once he was in that third hole, moving to the second hole, my attention was now on his driving style
Yeah.
because it was very different than what I've seen on that track.
So it was aggressive.
He was very aggressive in like ways that he was trying to like pick his lines.
Yeah.
And I know part of it is trying to get around Tristan. But on the other hand, I was like, something's going to happen. Like, I could see the writing on the wall.
I wasn't focused on that part of it. I was watching the back and forth. That's what kind of locked me in.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really speak to that. You would be the only one to.
Yeah.
So, but I loved it. Thought it was great.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's not an extremely popular position, but that's okay.
So, due to that, Chloe,
Got a gift.
she was consistent though.
Well, but
Like, she was definitely consistent. She was in that, I think she started 4th in, she actually started 2nd.
But think about it. I
Yeah.
don't think she thought that before the wreck occurred that everything
Yeah.
was going super peachy king,
Yeah.
right? I mean, she probably wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
For,
She was sitting in the 3rd hole.
well, but she wasn't probably expecting the two of them to wreck each other and then her end up in first,
Yeah.
right?
That was her first win at Deming.
I don't think anybody could anticipate that, but to
Yeah.
be an outcome.
Yeah.
But yeah, congratulations to her. I thought it was, I mean, part of racing is opportunity. Right place, right time.
Mm-hmm.
You're running 3rd and the two ahead of you are going to have issues. Guess what? You get to take advantage.
Yep.
So yeah, I knew Chloe Danielson ended up in the 18D, finished first. Colton Knapp in the 5C was second, and Cooper Anderson in the number 2 was third. So it was a fiery night overall, and I loved it. I thought it was great. So I don't mind. I know it's a lot of little kids and stuff, but I don't mind the F-bomb on occasion because that's Rubbin's son and Rubbin's racing. So. Days of Thunder quote.
Okay.
All right. So when we come back, green flag, black flag for Deming Speedway. We have not done that yet, right? And then when we come back after that, we have a serious interview we got to get through.
Yep.
We're gonna lay the groundwork for that after green flag, black flag. So when we return. Green flag, black flag of Deming Speedway. All right, we are back. Green flag, black flag. Let's do this.
Okay. Do we need any explanation of what this is?
So green flag, black flag is kind of what we substitute pole position for. It is how we evaluate a track. Green flag is what we like. Black flag is what we don't like about a track.
Okay.
Was that efficient
that's
enough?
fine.
All right. That's fine.
That's
How
fine.
would you describe
You
it?
did a great job, Jimmy.
Okay.
Kudos to you.
Yeah. I don't
Okay.
get kudos very often, so.
So my green flag is it is family friendly.
Very much so. Very, very much so. Deming reminds me of the early days of Skagit Speedway in the sense of you can go pick your spot. You have to clear the grandstands, and then get yourself ticketed back through. Skagit Speedway used to be like that back in the day. I love the fact that you don't need clear bags. I think that's a big green flag for me. Yeah, good choice. I think a green flag and a black flag. Green flag is the size of the pits. Black flag is the size of the pits. And they're in, but there's a reason for that. So green flag, the pits are fairly small compared to Skagit.
Yes.
But it's big enough to make it hard physically for me. It doesn't feel that way, like because you see it and go, oh, it's a lot more condensed. I can do this. And that's misleading because physically it's hard for me. So
Okay.
you laughed, but it was a legitimate reason why I said both.
I was thinking it was more the idea of like I could see the black flag in where they come off of the track, like the chute off, but then the container with the stands are right there. So there's not like you can't really see where the cars are coming from.
You got to peek around that
You
corner.
got you know those being the size of it is, it's not like the straight runway where you just look down and you see the cars are coming like you can at Skagit.
Yeah, it's
There's
a little bit of
more
it's a little
corners.
bit of a guessing game. Yeah.
Okay. My black flag.
Oh, this will be fun.
Why?
I don't know. Go ahead.
Is the attendance. I wish more people came out there.
Me too.
Like, and I will be guilty. I've lived in Whatcom County for 20 years, and this is our first year out
Shame
there.
on you.
You too there, dude.
Okay, dudette.
Dude.
Oh, your underwear's on the floor.
Thank you. So, trying to like spread the word. And when you say that you're going to a racetrack, they're like, oh, where, what? Is that around? And I know that the marketing aspect is hard when it's such a small family-run business.
Is it small though?
But it's,
I don't think so. I mean, people come from all over the country to race at Deming.
But it's still a small group of people doing the job,
Yeah.
all the jobs, and they all have their own jobs, their 9-to-5s on top of it.
We've been tasked with a job, right? I mean, we're covering Deming Speedway on
Yeah.
a regular basis. Paul has given us that. I mean, he hasn't specifically said this is your task, but I kind of feel that's our contribution to
Yeah.
the track is
But I really think that there is huge opportunities to spread the word throughout the season.
I'm looking to sponsor a car next year too. Like I would love to see from the stands on a wing eventually. And anybody's interested, reach out to us. I have different ideas about that. But here's the thing. In all of the racing that goes on in our area, top to bottom, Deming Speedway is the best. Top to bottom, every single class and division of Deming Speedway is more competitive than even Skagit Speedway. I'm going to say it. People are going to be like mad at me. I don't care. It's the truth. Deming Speedway, for your dollar to watch racing, is the best racing to watch in our area. I think the only thing that rivals it is Monroe at this point, because we've never experienced that.
Yeah.
But dirt track, Deming is the best.
So what I was trying to say is there's plenty of opportunity
Yes.
to market the racetrack within Whatcom County. And some of the things that come to my mind, especially since Deming is a little ways out there in sitting in the Mount Baker School District area, it's not on the main stretch, is, have a car at a Bells game. Families
Yeah.
are there.
Yeah.
Put the cars in the Memorial Day parade,
Yeah.
the Ski to Sea parade.
Yeah.
Get the cars out and about. When Skagit put a car in the mall and gave out tickets one day.
Yeah.
Skagit is out in our community way more in Whatcom County doing marketing.
Yeah.
So I think there's some missed opportunities.
Yeah, but now that we're, affiliated with the track and doing the thing, who knows? I mean, I'm hoping we can help with some of that, especially leading up to the beginning of this next year. Because Deming is the best dirt track racing around. So, yeah. I'll do a green flag. The entire staff at Deming Speedway. I have not had one bad incident, have not had anybody like two-faced, like, oh, you're doing so great, and then talk behind your, like, everybody has been absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. Even when I've done something wrong, they've been great about the correction where you don't feel bad, right? Like,
Yeah.
And I love that. And it takes a certain special kind of person to be able to do that. So, kudos to Paul and his choice for his staff. But for us to come out of nowhere, everybody's made us feel super warm and welcome, and I love that.
And they'll answer your questions even if they seem dumb.
Correct. And don't make you feel stupid by answering them. Yeah. Absolutely.
I think my green flag is the friendliness of the drivers
Yeah.
and their families.
Absolutely.
Like when Jimmy lost me or I lost Jimmy at the end of the night, I was talking to Keeson's sergeant's family for seriously probably 45 minutes.
Yeah, and who stopped me and asked if everything was all right was Peyton Drake.
Yeah.
He's one of the top drivers at that place. Family with the track owners and the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
He stopped and we shot the breeze the entire time until you started triking your little butt back to the car. So, but that just shows the types of people that are there is pretty incredible. And Peyton Drake, Austin Edson, Clayton was this way. The littler kids aren't so much, but because they're young and they're trying to figure it out. But some of the older drivers, everybody's been welcoming. Nobody's been, get away from me. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And I love that. So.
The black flag, the junior sprints. Oh, some days that race goes forever.
Yeah.
And it's not anybody's fault. It's a lot of little kids trying. It's herding cats.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's like nailing Jell-O to the wall. Yeah, absolutely. I think a black flag, and I think this hurts Deming, is, and you made a comment about this, how far it is out from Bellingham. I mean, you've got to be intentionally going to Deming, Washington, to be able to get to that track. You're not going to accidentally happen by it, right?
Yeah.
And that's a black flag, and there's not anything that like Deming can do about it. It's
No.
just the geography of it, but I think it hurts them a little bit in the attendance. But as a race fan, for me, the action on the track outweighs the distance I've got to drive to go to it.
But technically from our house, it's really about the same distance to go to Deming as it is to go to Skagit.
Correct.
It's just the opposite directions. We're going east, not south.
Yes. So shame on you for not doing that before.
I know. I didn't know it even existed.
Oh, shame on you.
where Brooklyn drives 3 hours to race up here.
That's right. You damn right. And not only that, but does it efficiently. Because gets here in 3 hours and then kicks butt on the track on top of it. Do you think she races the mini sprint sorry. It's the first time I've done that since I asked Sage. The micro sprint against the truck and trailer.
No.
Like on the freeway.
No.
Be like, come on, sucker.
Well, they can keep up with the speed limits we've found out.
Yeah, freeway speeds, right? Come on, sucker. All right.
I just had one and I lost it because I didn't write it down. We kind of talked about the medic aspect. I am shocked that, to my knowledge, there is no medics in the stands. They're only down below.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Skagit Speedway, right, they seem to be
Heavy.
medics everywhere, right? And at Deming, it's concentrated to the middle of the track. I don't know why that is. You know, you have a lot more, and I know it's because bigger cars and the whole thing, but you have more designated fire personnel and all this. You know, their red flags are not as serious at Deming for the most part as they are at Skagit Speedway.
Yeah. The medics, the fire, you know, those are also, and I have different clips of them throughout the season. I've seen a medic or a firefighter actually pulling cars apart or cramming the body in their car to drive out when it's on the tow truck. You know, they are doing double duty,
triple duty,
wherever they can fit in.
Yeah. And Paul has a small, like, hand-picked people he trusts to do the job effectively. And even though they have a small crew, they seem to be doing a good job with it. So, yeah, would I like to see a medic or two in the stands for the extra? Sure. I mean, I don't know how realistic that is, but yeah, I mean, it would never hurt, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Is that it?
Yeah, I lost what I was going to say earlier, but
So I will say this. I'll end on a green flag. I am particular about my hats. Deming Speedway with their fitted hat, their flex fit hat, it was the best fitting flex fit hat I've ever put on my head. It sucks that I've messed it up because it's all dirty now, but it was the best racing hat. Even better than Rico's. I hate to say it, Rico. Please reach out to you at From the Stands PNW because we would love to do an interview with you. Tinfoil hat, I would wear it all day, every day. Yeah, so best racing hat, Deming Speedway, hands down. And I've tried a lot of them, so. Si, senor. All right, ready?
sure.
All right, so our final interview of the night, and it was kind of an impromptu because we ran into the driver of the 12J, Jet.
The concept wasn't impromptu. It was kind
The
of
timing of the interview was
yeah.
impromptu. So when we interviewed Jet the first time, and you've seen it, if you haven't, go back to look at our episode. We did it in
Clay Cup.
Clay Cup recap night 2, I believe. So when I did the interview, I knew that Jet was facing some medical uncertainty when we were doing the interview. And I had asked her if she would be interested in talking about it. At that time, she said no. And I get why. Medical issues make you very vulnerable. I understand that. I have one myself, so I understand, you know, and just to keep up with what we're doing and being transparent. I have a blood clotting disorder. I was diagnosed when I was 13. And as you can imagine, blood clots, you know, heart attacks, strokes, the whole 9 yards. I've had a risk of death since I was a teenager. Had to sit out a lot of things in life, but then also through caution to the wind and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So I get the idea of how do you live your life with that looming over you. I'm a 50-year-old man with that perspective. Jet is a 16-year-old young woman living through that perspective. So we did an interview with Jet. She finally felt comfortable and thought it necessary, and I completely agreed that she wanted to talk about her, I don't want to call it a disability, but her medical issue.
Her diagnosis.
And how she has been fighting it and still living her life. And for anybody to do that, now I know I just said it on camera for the world to hear. It takes bravery to do that. Because when you have something wrong with you, something that isn't normal, makes you vulnerable. And it is hard to be vulnerable in a sport and in a world that eats vulnerable people alive. Right? So we're going to play the interview. I apologize. The lighting is off. It's kind of funky because we did it in the middle of the track right after the race. But I think it's an important interview. And when we come back, we're going to recap it and then move on to our final situation. So,
Way to go, wife. Thank you. All right. So this is probably the most unique interview that I've done, especially after a race. But everybody who has been at Deming Speedway probably recognizes, or probably doesn't, because you're not in a race suit and you're not at your pit stall next to your car. So this is the driver of the 12J in the 600 restricted, right? Restricted. You're looking at me like you're amazed I remembered that.
No, I'm not.
Okay. So she is here, and we have an interview that we want to do, and we're going to talk about a fairly serious subject. But before we get to that, I want to talk a little bit about your car and kind of the season. So you drive the 12J, right? The J for Jet. That's kind of your racing nickname, which if you saw our first interview, thought it was one of the coolest racing nicknames on the planet. So we're going to talk a little bit about your driving. So what do you think your biggest strength is as a driver? I don't know if I asked you this the last time.
Honestly, that's a really hard question to answer. I think it's paying attention to the start in front of me, because at first I couldn't get in between cars on the start and find the strength to do that, and now I do have the strength to do that, so it feels like it's a big advantage. And
Okay.
I know some of the weaknesses of all of the other drivers, but
Ooh, like that strategy. Love it, especially with what we just saw. So what is your favorite racing moment up to this point?
probably would be at Sunset Speedway. There wasn't very many cars, because there's not very many cars there, but I worked my way up to second, and then I had a bad restart, but I'm just overall proud of myself for being
Oh,
in
absolutely.
second place.
Absolutely. Anytime that there's another car that you're competing against and you do well, you have to be proud of that, because it's competition regardless. So what is your goal racing-wise over the next, 2 years?
Honestly, my goal is just to make a name for myself, because in my future, I don't want it to be like working a boring job, like a 9 to 5.
You want racing as part of your future. Okay.
I never want to quit.
I love that. Being 16 years old, you're kind of getting to that point where kind of decisions need to be made and kind of life choices, and I love that. So when we first met, there was an issue that you had, some physical things you had to kind of overcome, and we didn't touch upon it during our first interview. And I remember talking with Stacy and saying that I hope at some point you were comfortable enough to talk about what those are, because I think it could help other drivers. So we're going to get into that right now. So correct me if I'm wrong, but you do suffer from seizures, is that correct?
Yeah, I do.
How has that been a challenge as far as being a race car driver, having to overcome that?
Well, I have to pay attention to my medication, and also I have to sleep good, and my eat affects it, plus just every single thing that I do can affect it. And with racing, it's hard to manage it because it's always going to be a thought in my mind, but
So we have a lot in common, and I made this comment to Stacy during the interview. So I have a lot of physical limitations. I have to get through things that threaten my life on a daily basis. So I know what you're going through. I'm curious, what made you decide to want to talk now?
I think that it's important that a lot of other people in any sports or anything they feel like is holding them back, whether it's seizures or it's another medical condition, that it's not the end and there is always a way to get through it. It might take time, but you can get through it if you really try.
I come from I've done a lot of really like awesome things, and people might even say brave things in my life. This is probably one of the bravest things I've ever seen anybody do. Because when you talk about something that makes you vulnerable, as a race car driver, that's hard. Because as a driver, you can't be vulnerable. You got to be tough. You got to be, right? So this obviously affects your racing. What is the plan with your seizures for the rest of the season?
I won't be racing for the rest of the season, but the plan is to mess with my seizure meds, try to get more sleep, and hopefully be ready for next season.
So, obviously, seizures have changed your approach to racing. But what I'm impressed with is you and your family have kind of an imposed kind of timeline that you have to be seizure-free before you get back in the race car. And that's something that you and your parents have come up with, not anybody else. Is that right?
Yeah.
What is that timeline?
So, to race, there's nothing in the rule book about seizures, about how long you have to go, but me and my parents agreed that 8 weeks is a good amount of time to be seizure-free so that everyone else on the track and me are safe on the track.
And I love that. I love the fact that it's, you're taking yourself into consideration, but everyone else at the same time. So I'm looking at my notes because I was taking all kinds of notes to get ready for this interview. Was there ever times that you thought you would never be able to race?
There is a lot of times. When I started in quarter midgets, I was definitely really scared when I first started racing, but over time I got over it.
Just kind of work your way through it? That's pretty impressive, yeah. Now, is there a misconception that maybe somebody might have about somebody that is a race car driver and maybe suffers from seizures? Is there, do people get afraid? Do they think you're not going to, be good behind the wheel? Is there any misconceptions that you would love to straighten up?
There is a lot of misconceptions. So usually when people find out about my seizures or just seizures or medical conditions in general, they think that it'll affect their driving or possibly watch out for me like I'm a hazard on the track. But in reality, when I'm on the track, I'm focusing, and that all is behind me.
And you've never had an issue where you've been in the car and had... I think it's irresponsible for somebody to think that that's going to happen, especially with how you're handling it. I love the 8-week thing, and trying to keep all the other drivers safe, I think is absolutely awesome. There's people out here that maybe are either watching in the stands, watching you when you're driving, or watching this episode, and they might have some limitations that is stopping them from them chasing their dream. What advice would you give to somebody who, is afraid that letting their physical limitation limit their dreams? What advice would you give them?
Really, you have to think about what you want for your future, what you truly want. Even if you're nervous or you're scared about something that is going to happen, if you have confidence and you try, then usually you're able to get through it.
So you would want any, especially young girls coming up who might have something, don't let that stop you. Figure it out and get after it, right?
Yeah.
Make your dreams come true, which you are still doing. Okay, so I appreciate you talking with us about it. I think it's going to be an inspiration for a lot of young drivers, not just girls, but boys too, that might be encountering something. Let's do a fun question, though, because I asked it when we were going over the questions. 16, I have a daughter that's 15. Lining up for a feature is stressful, but what about like a final exam? What is more stressful?
Like on a test?
Yeah, taking a test at school or lining up for a feature at the racetrack.
Honestly, I don't really worry about tests, but lining up for a track, like for a race, you never know what's going to happen in the race. You
Yeah.
could crash, you could flip. You never know what's going to happen, and you're on the track and you're taking risks because it's what you love, and in the end, that's what makes you happy.
So I encourage anybody who saw our Clay Cup episode where we interviewed Jet. It is a great interview. I'm looking forward to seeing you coming back next year. Definitely wearing the 12J shirt as soon as you get it made.
We're working on
Oh, so I'll be the first one to get that on, and we'll wear it during an episode. But once again, I want to thank you for taking the time to do this and, make the comment, and thank you for being brave about this. It's pretty awesome. So, all right, there we go. The 12J back next year, baby.
Are we going?
Yeah.
All right. So that was the interview with Sage. So I remember with Jet, sorry. When we did the first interview, I made a comment to Stacy that I had hoped that she would eventually choose to do the interview, right? Mm-hmm. Because we had a lot more in common than she knew. And Jet had no idea of my situation until after she gave the interview to us on Friday night, which I shared with her and her mother.
Yeah.
Jet was adamant that this needed to happen, and she wanted to show young people that might be battling something that there is no reason to not chase your dream. Mm-hmm. Despite a setback or despite something or even somebody that's telling you no, you can't do it. So, yeah, I am extremely proud of Jet for doing that. I think she's an incredibly brave young woman. And, yeah, I am looking forward to her coming back next year. I cannot wait for that. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Unfortunately, her season has come to an end.
It has come to an end,
a
but
little early.
she will be back next year for sure. We are putting her on the process for the 5 teams in 7 days leading up to our opening next year. So she will be one that we will be checking in on and doing a report from their team shop. And so look for that as the winter comes to a close. So, yeah.
Okay. One last thing to wrap up.
All right, I'm going to have
Deming.
Stacy take the lead on this one because this is Stacy's. She's done all the research on it. So
McKenna Morgan is a 600 driver at Deming Speedway. Drives the number 68 and local to the Bellingham area. And she was nominated for the Hoosier 2027 Hero program. And she found out maybe Friday, sometimes I think last week, that she was in the finalists of being in the top 25.
yeah,
So we want to give her a little bit of a shout out on that. That's
Yep.
a huge accomplishment to get to the top 25.
Yep.
It is nominations of drivers, crews, media, everybody that's kind of involved in the racing industry, not just dirt, but asphalt, drags, everything can qualify for this program. And I want to read a little bit of what she posted on social media.
do you want me to do it or?
Oh, I can.
Okay.
Now it says, now it comes down to your votes to determine the final 12. And I would be so grateful for your support. Whether I'm racing, working in the shop, helping other teams, or learning everything I can about the sport, I try to give my best every single day. Racing has given me so much, and being recognized for the passion, the pride, and the dedication. I try to bring both on and off the track. What I try to bring both on and off the track means more than I can put into words. So she is representing the Pacific Northwest, Deming, Skagit, our race community. So we will put a link in the recap description on YouTube.
Yep. So you're going to want to vote for her because we are trying to get her to be in the top 12 for the Hoosier 2027 Hero Award. So
Yep.
We will do everything we can to help McKenna achieve that accomplishment. So,
And if you want to, you can go right to her social media, Morgan Motorsports, McKenna Morgan, number 68. I've shared some things out on our TikTok and Instagram as well
yep.
for her. So,
All right, there you go. That is episode 15, Lock, Stock, and Barrel, Deming Raceway. When we turn the cameras back on, we will be doing episode 16, Skagit Quarter Midgets, Saturday morning. So thank you for watching, everybody, and we will see everybody at our next episode. Watching our latest creation from the stands, PNW. So you're probably wondering who's responsible for creating this podcast. Well, that would be Jimmy and Stacy. Who is the guy in front of the microphone all the time? Well, that would be Jimmy. Who's producing our episodes? Well, that will be Jimmy and Stacy. Who am I talking to on the social media side and who's creating all that wonderful social media? Well, that would be Stacy. A special thanks goes out to Top Shelf Galaxy Productions, and of course, a special shout out to Ice by Stacy Media for all the great graphics and animations. So please like and subscribe and turn on your notifications so you know when our latest hits the airwaves. You can find us across all social media platforms at From the Stands PNW. Once again, thank you so much for watching.